Hello, this is Aaron Mean of SG Gaming Info, and welcome to my video review of Swing Swing Submarines Seasons After Fall. While I don't regularly play 2D puzzle platform games, Swing Swing Submarines Season After Fall has to be the most enjoyable game I've played this year. On the surface, the game's premise of controlling a fox to gather the power of the seasons and complete various tasks sounds simple, but there is, in fact, a lot of depth to the game, especially in the main mechanic, the ability to alter the seasons. The ability to alter seasons allows you to manipulate the environment around you. For example, during the game I had to use a geyser to reach a new location, but since it was fall I couldn't use it. But once I changed the season to winter, the geyser froze and became a usable platform. As you progress through the story and gain all 4 seasons, the puzzles become a lot more difficult and require a surprisingly large amount of thinking. I believe there was a puzzle that took me about 30 minutes or so to complete. For those wondering about the story, Seasons After Fall has a strong and compelling narrative, something I honestly wasn't expecting. The story involves you playing the role of a special seed and controlling a fox to explore the forest, talk to each of the seasonal guardians, and gaining the power of the seasons in an effort to begin the ritual of the seasons. Nevertheless, the game story goes beyond simply fetching seasons and solving puzzles. The story shows how you shouldn't let fear control you, and how even the forest has its own circle of life, as even seeds must venture from their sanctuary and find a place to grow. As you reach the halfway point of the game, the story has a rather emotional spike. While the creation of the emotional moment was obvious to see, it didn't make watching it any less sad. Before talking about the game's issue, I want to briefly talk about the game's main mechanic and puzzles again. As I mentioned earlier, the puzzle solving and environment manipulation is done by changing the correct season. But while changing seasons is important, another important mechanic is barking. Barking is a mechanic that is mostly used early in the game, as you have to bark at seasonal spirits to invoke a season you haven't acquired yet, along with certain objects. For example, to get a vine to unravel, you have to set the season to summer and also bark at the vine. Now, let's talk about the issues. In all honesty, there is no major issue with Seasons After Fall, and the issue that I'm about to bring up is a personal gripe, as the most frustrating issue for me was the backtracking. Since Seasons After Fall has no map or mini-map, it is very easy to get lost, and I found a lot of my time was spent trying to find the way back to the hub area known as the Sanctuary. While there are some portals that can bring you back to the Sanctuary, you will most likely get lost looking for those as well. Now, before reaching my conclusion, I want to talk about the graphics and audio. Graphically, Seasons After Fall is a masterpiece, as the game looks like an interactive painting, as you can see what looks like paint strokes on trees and other objects. In terms of audio, the soundtrack is amazing, as every song played works with what was happening on screen. In terms of voice acting, I felt each voice suited each character, including the very childlike voice of the narrator. So in conclusion, Seasons After Fall is an incredibly fun and at times challenging 2D puzzle platformer. But what makes Seasons After Fall a truly memorable experience is the season manipulation and the amazing soundtrack. And so with that said, I give Seasons After Fall a perfect score, 10 out of 10. With the game's pros being season manipulation, the story, challenging puzzles, a lovely art style, and an amazing soundtrack. And of course there are cons, even though it's a perfect score, so the cons are the backtracking can be annoying. Thank you for watching. Please like, favourite and subscribe. For more gaming information, please visit sggaminginfo.com, and don't forget to like our Facebook page at facebook.com/sggaminginfo. And of course, follow us on Twitter at sggaminginfo.